we both write everything lyrically, musically. There's no real rules. We write on guitars, pianos, on drums, on any kind of instruments laying around. It's very spontaneous. There's no rule. Like I said, we don't kind of plan a writing session. The first album kind of just came out of a lot of frustration, a lot of parties. Before we knew it, we had 3 songs. Before we knew it, we had the album finished. And signed a record deal and put the album out. We put a few singles out ourselves before we signed a deal. Back in the day. And I think we're going to carry on like that. We're hoping to start writing and recording the second album this year, maybe around September time. Start delivering it by the end of the year. We're going to go to Berlin because we had some good parties out there. We're going to sort of get an art space and do exactly the same thing, run some parties. And use some of the song title ideas. I think we made a conscious decision not to write on the road because we've been obviously touring for a year or so, and we just got worried that sitting on the back of a bus running through deserts and everything starts sounding a bit Bob Dylan, and with acoustic guitars. There's nothing wrong with Bob Dylan, but it's not what we do. So we decided to keep everything in our heads, and then when we have these parties, the energy will come straight back into the recording.
I think, where you are, I think all artists and musicians, that you just are a total sponge to your surroundings. That's how you get inspired. And, we did our first record in Salford in a disused cotton mill that had you'd walk out the door and there'd be 40 artists, all striving and being really creative, and there'd be bands playing, and it's so inspiring, I grew up with the Spice Girls, and then I was in this disused cotton mill watching Japanese psychedelic rock bands, and I was it blew my mind. So it definitely has an influence, and I think Berlin, we ain't going to go techno, I know that, but there's a really good art scene there. It's it's not kind of too hip for its own good. It still feels quite honest, it's not a load of sisters hanging out. It's just artists trying to get on in life and get on with their work. So we're going to find that inspiring, and I'm sure it will have an effect.
Don't take it over seriously. We love what we do musically, and we love doing our artwork. I study fine art. I've been, creative all my life. But sometimes you just got to be careful you don't take yourself too seriously. The industry, touring, the whole mechanism behind being a musician, sometimes it's too serious. It becomes a money-making machine, and we don't really take that too seriously. Obviously there's. To get over here, we have to hire a bus, for example, and that has to be paid for. I'm not taking that lightly, but at the same token, the whole kind of pretentiousness of this industry, we just really don't look at it.
Try not to look like a cock, and you're kind of on your way. And, don't get pissed.
Don't Google yourself every night.
Don't Google yourself every night, yeah. That could be so damaging. Keep your clothes clean, I'm not into bands that kind of smell. It's not our thing, is it? Quite a clean band. Just, not too many burgers, but it's hard on stage. You end up eating burgers constantly. So I'm sure we'll burn out by the end of this tour.
If you've got strong material or you've got something to say and people want to hear it or see it, I think they will. I think they do, we did it with our MySpace as well. When we first started 2 years ago, we put 2 tunes up and 3 pictures, and there was nothing else. There was no kind of label behind us. So we just put a bit of vinyl out. We've done sort of 6 gigs, and you'd be surprised how many people from Canada, Mexico, Africa, people were just hitting MySpace going, I really like your band. Have you got a CD? And we were thinking, oh no, we haven't got a CD. So let's make a CD. So we make a CD. You write back to those people and you say, look, we've just made a CD, and I know it's only a couple of pounds to buy, and some of the people wanted we sent them to all over the place. We'd do a little package and stamp them, and and people would send a bit of cash through or checks through. At one point, I remember when we first started, we were getting checks from Berlin, Canada, America, Brazil. People would just write a check for $5 or the equivalent or whatever for us to send a little CD and in a package. And we never even cashed those checks in, because how are we going to cash, Mexican, whatever, pesetas, I don't know, euros, I don't know what they use down in dollars. So we just kept them all. You know, we just had all these little checks. We've got them still. You know, we framed them, just thinking, oh, you know what? Let's just collect loads of checks. And maybe that should be our next sleeve cover. That looked really good.